I'm Squidward, and I have to work for a living.
Money. It's what we all want, because it is what fuels this nightmare of a society we live in. But if you want money and don't want to be morally ambiguous, you gotta get a job. If it's your first job and you weren't born into wealth, which is a given considering you clicked on this type of video, it'll most likely be a customer service job. Here's what you'll need to know to avoid the temptation of selling a kidney. Think of a job you'd like. It's around your interests, it pays a lot, has good hours, has benefits, and it's close to home. Now stop fantasizing and lower your standards. You know what? Lower your standards one more time anyway, because it's what you'll do once you realize no target in a 20-mile radius wants anything to do with you. Rejection is normal. You're gonna be hearing no a lot. Speaking from my own experience, get used to it, because it'll happen again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And that's just life. Oh yeah, it's also a big thing when looking for a job. These types of jobs are the great equalizer. You could have a college degree, top of your class, receive awards, scholarships, praise from your peers and professors, but your direct supervisor could still be a high school kid. For better or worse, you're gonna work with a wide range of people, but here you all are, and you all have one thing in common that brings you all closer together. All of you are being paid the absolute minimum amount. Okay, so how much do you want to work? Wait, let me rephrase that. How much do you need to work? Full-time and part-time have their pros and cons, but they basically boil down to how much you value your free time. With full-time, you get paid more, but you spend the entire time thinking about going home and partaking in your favorite hobbies. But you're too tired to do any of that once you get home. With part-time, you have more time to do what you love, but you feel guilty because you could be using that time to earn money instead. It really says something about our society when our dumb brains tell us we're wasting time because we can't always monetize our hobbies. A big plus for full-time is that you probably get a bunch of benefits too. There's health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, paid time off, vacation time. You get all this when you sell a chunk of your soul to a company for 40 to 60 hours a week. And now, let's talk about the benefits you get with part-time. Commute time is your time, but you want the least amount as possible because it's dangerous to be left alone with your thoughts, especially here. If you're driving, just think about why you're doing this, what it's all for, or whatever else distracts you from the fact that absolutely nothing is stopping you from taking a sharp right turn while going 60 on the highway. If you'd be taking public transportation, I just want to formally apologize in advance. You'll definitely want to spend the least amount of time here because aside from being unreliable when you most need it, every single minute on it increases your chances of getting stabbed by about 1.3%. You really luck out if you could just walk to work. Maybe just eliminate the commute time entirely and just live there. Your entire life is going to be dedicated to working anyway, so might as well. You've got yourself a phone interview, nice! You're all set up and are anticipating the call. Then they give you a 1-minute warning that it's actually a webcam interview. So you rush to comb your hair and put on something that doesn't have any visible stains. You're at your camera with seconds left to spare to make your background seem like you're an interesting person worth hiring. And if you have an in-person interview, just remember, firm handshake. That's a fine line you'll have to walk. You can't be too weak or else you won't get hired. You can't be too strong either, or else by social customs, you'll have humiliated them. And then you'll have their job. But that's way too much responsibility for you, someone whose pet cactus is on the verge of dehydration. Anyway, I'm not sure which interview location is worse. If you do it in the front of the store, that's in front of everyone, where they could overhear that you listed mom as a reference in your resume. And under special skills, you lied and put down that you're a people person and you've never committed treason. Then there's the back office. It's a sketchy place, and you get an uneasy feeling because it's not a part of the story you usually see. It's like catching a mall Santa take off his fake beard, revealing the crudely drawn tattoos of his children on his neck. At least, I hope those are his children. You got the job, congrats. It all goes downhill from here. Get ready, because are you serious and are you kidding me are about to become your most thought questions. If it's a sales job, you're selling items for a commission. For example, if you sell boat parts, you'd be in the sales business. You sell sails to sailors and such. Basically, working off of commission is how well you could convince someone to be just a little bit poorer. You'll probably have quotas and sales goals too. If you meet them, congrats. The whole entire company is doing great thanks to everyone, but mostly corporate for setting the goals in the first place. And the CEO could afford to buy another beach house this financial quarter. If not, it's your fault. And you should have tried harder because the stock shares are down now. And we're going to be cutting hours too while at the same time raising the quotas. So do better next time, you absolute piece of... If you're in basic retail, your job duties can be compared to keeping control of a rat-infested ship. They're everywhere. You're cleaning up after their messes, sometimes having to fend them off with a broom. They essentially gnaw at your needs and you're expected to say, "Hi, how can I help you today?" It's annoying overall. And it gets much worse around the holidays. In the absolute chaos that is Black Friday, you're essentially a wrestling referee. And in December, well, you're also essentially a wrestling referee, but with a Santa hat on. Pro tip, never work at your favorite fast food place. That's how you ruin it for yourself. In food service, restaurants have to adhere to strict health codes. You might also be getting paid less because the company is putting the burden of helping you not getting evicted on the consumer through the generosity of tipping. Tips are just a way to ensure that the employees stay because they'll be so busy working that they won't have the time to find a new job. Never feel bad about skimming some food? Spoiler alert, it all goes to waste at the end of the night anyway. Your heart really hurts a certain way seeing so much food being thrown out for the first time. At the end of the night, you count your register, being careful to not accidentally commit theft. And then this happens.
What?
Are you open?
Read the sign.
I'll have a Krabby Patty Deluxe.
Yeah, that happens on almost a daily basis. When you're closing down the store and you're tired, you might be tempted to leave some stuff for the morning crew to do. The bad thing about that is that you also work the morning shift, where you'll be greeted by customers already waiting outside the store an hour before it opens. A part of your job description includes being a nanny to fully grown adults. You'll do basic cleaning all around. That includes taking out the trash, which can be a little spooky at night considering anything can be in a dumpster. Sometimes you might be sent to clean outside. That's essentially the closest thing you'll ever have to recess again. I could tell you so many horror stories that are associated with the words public bathroom. Even worse when you work in a home improvement store with fake toilets. Even worse than that is when customers both can't read the signs and have never been in an actual restroom before. So now, there's a situation in one of the changing rooms. What should you eat for lunch? Maybe try bringing your own to save money. In your head, you plan for a nice, nutritious meal that'll give you enough energy to get through the rest of the day. But you'll end up bringing a cup of ramen every day. And you might get a free lunch if you work in a restaurant. You save a lot of money this way, but actually, I don't really see a downside to this one. This is actually a rare pure benefit. Until some customer goes over to ask you for something in the middle of your meal. You lose your faith in humanity real quick when someone is yelling at you because you told them they can't use their 2 years expired coupon. These people belong to a special kind of species known as Kerins. You will encounter them, and they will ask for the manager. And the manager will just tell them the exact same thing you did. Then they curse you and the whole store out, saying they'll take their money elsewhere, and then come back the next week? I've had many conversation scenarios in my head where I go over meticulously what I would have said to them if I didn't have bills to pay yesterday. Just hope you won't have to face a Karen plus. These are the ones that have full-on tantrums and throw stuff around and are ready to commit physical assault. Unfortunately for them, these hands are rated E for everyone, and I don't need security to take out the trash. Some countries have mandatory military service at a certain age. We should have the same thing, but for customer service jobs. That's how we as a nation can heal. No matter how you react in the moment, it's important to make sure you pull out your phone to record them so you could at least get some internet clout. Most customers are actually tolerable. Barely. With the normal ones, even they'll do stuff that'll just get under your skin, even if they don't mean to. Nothing can quite prepare you for hearing the same customer jokes over and over and over again. One of the worst types are the ones that try to flirt with you. It's awkward and really creepy, and unfortunately it's women that get the worst of it here. Especially with older people. That's even happened to me when an older lady kept talking about my arms and how much I can live, and if I'd be available to help move boxes. Either it was that or she really wanted to invest in a small moving business. And the nicer ones could still be weird. They come up to you to politely ask where the eggs are while you're stocking the eggs in the fridges, full of eggs. Beside you, there's literally a carton of eggs in your hand. And you give it to them, and you say, "I don't know, let me go ask." And yeah, it's nice of them to take the time to read your name tag and thank you using your name, but it stings every time they do it because it makes it all feel a little bit more real. Bosses make or break the workplace. They set the mood, they make the rules, they back you up when you're accused of being racist because you allegedly gave a tiny bit more food to the person in front of them, or they cave into whatever ridiculous request a tantruming customer makes because the customer is always right. Coworkers make or break the workplace too. You can survive a horrible boss and a horrible job if you have great coworkers. You help each other out and you get to talk smack about the customers. And if they talk smack about each other, then that definitely means they're doing that to you. So don't get too chummy. You should think about what expectations you want from that kind of relationship. How much do you want to separate your personal life and your work life? I tend to keep it very separate for safety reasons. And by that I mean my worst nightmare is my perfectly normal coworkers finding my Twitch channel and stopping by when I'm doing something weird. I am genuinely a completely different person outside of work, and I like to keep it that way. Your first week is done, and you're starting to get the hang of everything. Nice. So now would be the perfect time to start looking for a better job. Try to do it whenever you can. When you're on your commute, on breaks, when a customer insists that you check the back for an item. If you're close to getting a new job, you gotta think about how you'll be leaving. Make sure you get your unused paid time off and vacation hours when you leave, because the company might not always give them to you. I know what you're thinking. Leas, what kind of place would do that? What kind of place would basically steal what is owed to you? What place would essentially punish you for never calling in sick and missing a day of work? What immoral place would steal what amounts to around $600 or so that could have really helped out at the time? What place would do that? Just be careful out there and look out for yourself. They won't. If you put in a 2 weeks notice, you can pretty much coast during those 2 weeks. You'll just be chilling for the most part. It's all not going to be your problem very soon, so don't bother trying much. It's alright. You got that last day of work to look forward to, and you're already lying when you tell your coworkers that you'll keep in touch and visit often. And if the place is really sucky, you can leave. Just like that. No one's gonna arrest you. It's not against the law. This is a fantasy of many, and you're pushed closer and closer to the edge every time someone is arguing with you about why something costs the amount it does. Like you have control over that. But you might want to hold off on that just in case you use that job to update your resume. You'll burn that bridge when you get there. So here you are. You got a better job. It pays so much more. You have a ton of benefits. Overall, everything is better about it, and thus your life is gonna be better. The suffering from all those other jobs finally made it worth it. You did it. And then you wake up and regret ever being born. As you're getting ready for the nightmarish day ahead of you, just remember the fact that a little kid on YouTube makes millions from reviewing toys. We really do live in a society. Why is it that every single guy that's paid with a $2 bill is so excited about it? It's like a special event or something for them. Bet you haven't seen one of these before. I don't understand.